So the lights are going to go out. They are out, and it is a run to this very difficult turn one. People will be going up to the inside. You want to avoid this wall. Don't push anyone out wide. Let's run down the guys.
Oh, that's a good start from Smeltino there behind. He's already up into P3 Adam. Yeah, as Vinny, I think, is into the wall there to retire because he's having some issues. As we have a safety car already, lap 1 because of that.
What? Okay, and they are away. Silver has sunk it. Sorry, Triton. And the battle is on for P1. Was we a yellow in sector 2? Oh, we got a car off in the background. What is it? It's Onion Barge.
Oh, that's Onion Barge is off. Yeah, he's gone off somewhere. He hit Matthias somewhere. So they're both off.
I mean, how much of this is genuine? What we're seeing? We're seeing more changes. As what's going on here? Do you know why this is getting really difficult to call? Wimpy just looked like Wimpy just drove through two guys. So they're just ghosted, and we are losing Verk. Verk is having a serious issue. They're running very close to each other. I'm going to run on board with him. He's going to try and down the inside. That's a pretty tricky place to go, and he does make the move. Kawani doesn't give him too much of a hard job of it. I think he kind of knew there that it wasn't really much he could do. Tactics, but Matthias is going to go for the outside. Very difficult place to take it, but he goes for the cutback on the inside. That's a lovely move, and is he going to make it stick? Oh, that was a fantastic pass by Matthias. You know, he did have a lot of those DNFs. Oh, just as soon as I said DNF, his car vanishes off screen behind Bant. So I don't know whether that was a spectator bug, or is that a glitch or a lag freeze, but he is now in P3. Now, Kawadi needs to ask himself, how much does he want to fight this? Is he going to compromise his race even further, or is he going to give the place to Thimo? No. Oh, no. Kawadi does lock up, misses Breaker's point. Kind of unnerves Thimo, who locks up as well, but he gets the move done. Going as Matthias is trying to get past Kawadi, who has Kawadi not pit? Kawadi still hasn't pitted for that front wing change, and Matthias gets the move done. Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
The move's done. But Thimo may capitalize on this.
Oh, but no, he's not, because Matthias is actually going to get the run on him. He's going to get a little bit of substitution. Timo up the inside there. They're going to go too wide there. Matthias hits the wall, but keeps the wing on, and there you go. Now Matthias has a better run through to back, and he's going to have to just back out of this easier. Keyboard Magnuson has a look up the inside of Thimo into Mirabeau, and now through the hairpin, they're wheel banging a bit, and he hits the wall in the hairpin, and now trying to kind of shovel his way through. Timo's not giving him that room. He is entitled to the road here, and down the inside he goes into Portier, into the tunnel now. Keyboard Magnuson might have better traction there. They wheel bang a bit. Timo's missing some front wing now, as Wimpy hits the wall too out of the tunnel, so he's definitely lost some wing as well. So now it's all taking off here, sorry. And
this is really going to sucker. Timo's going to suffer from this because Keyboard Magnuson is behind him with fresher tyres. So.
Keyboard Magnuson.
He's going to go for it.
Timo. Oh no!
These boys are starting to panic.
Contact there. Timo, he's not going to overtake him there. That's polite of Timo, but Keyboard Magnuson gets past him too now, so that's. Oh, he hits the wall again and he spun. Oh dear. He's gone wide. And he's hit the wall. And he takes Keyboard Magnuson with him nearly, and Timo gets past now too, so that's
and he hits Motocrosser!
He hits Wimpy hits Motocrosser.
Oh no.
And oh dear. Yeah, now but meanwhile riding on board with Silver here as he very slowly is coming across the line here.
Bit of a troll in here. Go on, Bance.
He can do that, but he's gonna Vance might actually claim this if he's not careful. Yeah, how much did Vance gain? Yeah, Vance, he just nearly lost that race.
He nearly did.
Race right there. Yeah, and Adam with a very impressive P4, P3, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, P3 because
even with penalties, I think he's good.
Hello and welcome everyone. You join us for round 7 of SLR's Tier 2 division in a very wet Canada, which is certainly going to throw up some excitement in qualifying. Joining me, hopefully with a better internet connection, is Mr. Triton himself.
Hello everybody. Welcome back. Yeah, as you said, it is extremely wet
Yeah.
right now. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting because we're gonna see a very mixed up grid potentially. I think while I was gone in Spain, it was wet in the qualifying as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we might see some people show a little bit more control than others, and that could be some of the midfield runners this season too. So all to play for here.
Yeah, so just at the beginning of the stream, I seen the highlights reel of the previous race in Monaco, which I really enjoyed it. It was a bit of a slow burner at the beginning, but it really kicked off at the end, delivering all the action that you would expect. The only thing is I'm a bit jealous that they were able to race it in the dry, because whenever we had our race on Sunday, it was a bit like this. Anyone watching, if you can imagine racing like this in Monaco, it was pure hell. But we managed it, and so we know firsthand, Triton, what these boys are going through right at the moment.
Absolutely. But yeah, back on that subject. I mean, in this game, this is kind of just a visual thing. If depending on your graphic settings, it's not very pretty to drive in the rain because you can sometimes if you're behind another car, it is almost impossible at times to see. So that makes I mean that's a bit of a realism or an additional bit of realism in the game. Although the game does lack realism, but anyways, I think it makes it a little bit more interesting to watch as well how the drivers act in the rain, like lifting off through the spray and all that. So, anyways, right now, if you
would you like to do a hot lap with someone?
I would love to. If you could go to our to Mr. Thimo Brown, and
okay, there he is.
Yes, and
I'll do an onboard for you.
Yes, as he takes us on a lap of a very wet circuit. Gilles Villeneuve takes the short route to the line. Started off after the 150. He goes very in and kind of hug the inside as well on the exit of turn 1 into turn 2. Go wide into turn 3 or up towards turn 3 here. He gets a little bit squirmy before the 100 board. Hit the brakes. Normally it's after that into the corner where Sebastian Vettel went off in real life, which we're not going to discuss. And before the 100-meter board again into turns, I think it's 5 and 6. I'm not sure of the names here or the numbers here. Onto the new DRS straight that was introduced last year, which there's no DRS in the rain. Now coming up here into this next chicane here. Left, right, Thimo outbrakes himself a bit though, so he's going to have to go off there, but we'll still keep on board with him as he approaches the hairpin, which is going to lead us on to the third sector here before the 100-meter. Again, I thought 150 around there as Inferno Koi goes off to avoid him there as well into the hairpin. Very easy on the throttle now, coming onto the back straight here where speed is key, of course. No turning, no anything like that, just flat to the floor with throttle pedal. And after the 150-meter board break there, and keeps it under control into the chicane, misses the wall of champions, thankfully, or unthankfully, because I know Thimo wants to be a champion, and across the line, and that is a lap of wet Gilles Villeneuve here in Canada.
It looks really tricky out there, doesn't it, Triton, at the moment for them boys?
Yeah. Timo, obviously, I mean, it's not at any fault of his own, struggling in the rain, not much grip at the moment, especially. I think the game does simulate the dry line showing up. It'll appear, I think, for for the spectators like us, but it takes a while for it to actually get there. As I think somebody's been into the wall here, Inferno Koi.
Inferno Koi, yeah. I think I did see a little bit of a discussion on the SLR Discord. Oh, Wimpy's also lost it. What's going on here? In the SLR discussion about in the wet, is there any benefit running the wet line or off the dry line in the wet? Is there anyone who isn't aware, which again I'm sure they are, but in the event they don't, whenever it's wet, the idea is to run maybe one card width to either side of the normal dry line, because there would be less rubber down there, so in a wet track it's more grippy. But yeah, so they were discussing that, and I'm not really sure that there's much evidence to suggest that running the wet line in this game has any real benefit. I don't know if you have any input on that, Triton?
I do. I mean, to give you a real life example, I think as Crimsonium barely keeps it on track to do a lap here or start his lap, I think. But so in the wet, in real life, the drivers sometimes like to take what is called, which is essentially going to the inside before the corner, as opposed to staying on the outside and going like tight in, fast out kind of thing. You kind of hug the inside before towards the braking zone as if you were defending, and then kind of work it towards the outside, and then or you can take like a wide line through the corner and then go like maximize your exit speed that way. If that makes any sense, to kind of run onto the marbles essentially, or the discarded rubber from the tires. And the game does simulate that to an extent, and the racing line always does improve with time in the F1 games. So there are benefits to doing both, I think. What I do is I just simply stick to the dry line, like as if it were the dry line, but just take it slower as we see most of the drivers do. Because it does get a little bit better over time, and the spray does... I mean, I don't know if the spray essentially goes away, but the game does simulate the puddles on the off the racing line, I know. So,
oh, yes.
That's my very weird explanation of it as into the wall Crimsonium goes. He did not hit the wall of champions, unfortunately for him, so that is that means Crimsonium is unfortunately not going to be the champion potentially, but yeah, he's
just going past him is Aaron, so I'm going to run on board with him because he should be starting his next lap, or his next lap. He should be.
See that, yeah. Let's talk a bit about Aaron. I think he showed a lot of pace in the beginning of the season, in the season opener, if you recall. Even on the 2-stop, he was able to beat out Onion Barge, who is actually a second clear right now of Silver, who's in P2 on provisional pole. But Aaron showed a lot of pace in the beginning, and has still shown pace, but has not been able to replicate the win. Do you think he'll be able to do that finally today?
Well, I don't know how these boys behave in the wet. I've never really seen them racing, but I reckon if this is a dry race, knowing what we do know, I reckon Aaron is in with a shout, definitely. I would like to see him, up there more often. I know he was a bit, he was away for a while I think he was on holiday or something, and we lost him. And if we hadn't have lost him, I reckon it'd have been a bit closer up at the top. In fact, I can put the standings on screen just quickly. Hopefully people don't...
Sorry to interrupt you real quick. I just got the weather report in. So, according to our insight, Mr. Wimpy, thank you, we are told that it's going to be light rain at the start, and then it's going to translate to heavy rain, or transition to heavy rain towards the second part. So, it's looking like a full wet session, yeah, 100%. So... yeah, these are the conditions we're gonna have for the race, almost.
Maybe not just quite as wet. Probably entered. They'll probably yeah. Oh, in the beginning, so it's gonna dry up a little.
No, it's gonna be light rain, and then it's gonna be full wet towards the second half. So yeah, we're gonna be driving in some pretty hefty conditions here, or some pretty interesting conditions.
Yeah, but they might be running on. They might be starting on inters then if it's light rain.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be inter-start, I think, and then full wets towards the second part, I'm thinking.
That's got a whole back end. That corner, I don't remember the names of the track either, but just that middle section there, that little chicane that you come to.
Yeah.
I always find that even difficult in the dry. I mean, you have to be really careful on the power, or the back end would just slip on you.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's the corner I've been struggling with myself, actually. As I'm watching motocross here, there's a Mercedes right behind him, who is, I mean, no, they're on an outlap, so it doesn't matter, but, anyways, and, yeah, the corner there, the way you take it, essentially, is you slightly lift off, and then you could shift up fourth gear. I think you enter it, third gear, and then you shift up to fourth gear on the exit, and then if you need a little bit more, you can shift up to fifth gear to get the traction down. But that's something in this game I find doesn't really work out for me personally, is short shifting. like I kind of like to rev the car out a little bit more instead. That's something actually that our fellow commentator over in Tier 1 Terror Incognita taught me, is to sometimes rev the car out a little bit more if short shifting does not get you the traction. So,
Oh,
yeah, there are many ways you could approach that corner, I think. If you are losing the back end, especially in the rain, I would think short shifting is better off in the rain. So, ooh, somebody hits the wall. That's enemy killer. Ooh, and he is out of the session already. He loses a wheel.
my goodness,
So,
where was that?
beginning of sector 2. So,
Uh,
right at the beginning, that turn we were talking about just now. Oh dear. So, I think Wimpy's coming up to him right now. Yeah, no, it's cleared now though. So,
oh, it's clear.
unfortunate for him, yeah. But like we were saying, the rain, it's very treacherous out there. So,
I just had the standings on whenever you were talking there. What were you talking about? Oh, why you were talking about lifting the rev. It's been a long day for me. Yeah, the standings. So who was that? Silver is leading, currently top of the leaderboard as it stands with, I think it was 110, and then Onion Barge P2, and then Matthias P3. So the 1, 2, 3 runners at the moment in the qualifying are our top 3 in the standings. And then Bance, of course, in P4. Bance was telling me that he's actually really struggling a lot, big time, for in Canada. And he's not very confident. Add to that, it's a wet race. He's not going to enjoy this whatsoever. But
sorry again to interrupt you again.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Aaron's on intermediates right now, so I think it might be time for intermediates because I think the track is drying out a bit. But we'll keep an eye on his results. But sorry, keep continuing.
Yeah, he just did a time there. Was that his out lap because it was slower?
I think that was his out lap.
Yeah. Yeah, as I was saying to Bance anyway, I mean, Bance always has this wee way of delivering, you know, even when he's not feeling confident, when he's in the heat of battle, he usually ends up, you know, getting a pretty good performance. So always be confident in your abilities, especially when you're running P4 in SLR Tier 2 and P1 in 2SRL.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, is he P1 in 2S?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he did that last race there in Monaco. Oh, Aaron just had to report
I
that.
think it's intermediates time right now. Vinny has put in a 120.5 on intermediates. So
Yeah, Vinny. Sorry, what?
I said that means the track is definitely drying up right now, and I'm looking right now on the fitted tire detail here. Yeah, everyone is starting to fit the intermediates, so I wasn't paying attention to the track actually there, so my bad for that.
I mean, visually, it doesn't look like there's much difference, but clearly there is.
Visually, I mean, I don't see the puddles. Like when it's full wet, when it's around the time for full wets, you see those big puddles off the racing line. So there is that. Maybe or maybe I'm just like not looking at it properly, and I don't know. But yeah, they know better than us, of course, because they're engineers and stuff, and the game will tell them when it's probably time to switch off. Or you can watch the telemetry on the tire board, where it'll show like how much faster a specific tire is, whether it's degraded or not, and it'll show. You can just kind of monitor as the data goes up, or the delta goes up between each tire. Like you can just scroll back and forth between the intermediates and the wets, and you'll see the times going up and up or down, whatever, depending on how the rain is. So that is a little tip for anyone watching if you want to figure out when to switch off tires.
You're gonna have to run that by me again the next wet race.
Yeah, but we are approaching the end of qualifying here soon, so the times are gonna start ramping up here.
Yeah,
so
I'm running on board with Matthias, who's just warming himself up for this his main lap.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on Silver here, the other Racing Point, our championship leader, seeing how he does, as he's approaching a slow-moving Toro Rosso who hopefully moves out of the way.
So Adam puts it on pole with a provisional pole, 1 minute 20.3. So definitely the intermediates. Oh, and then onion bars goes even quicker. Almost
Yeah,
a
19.
second. Yeah, almost a second faster. So
And
we're going to
let's
be
see here.
looking.
Now Silver's gonna be crossing the line now. Um, and he
Boom.
goes. He does. Oh no, he does not put in a time yet. I think that was his out lap. My fault.
Yeah, so Matthias will then be passing, will be finishing the crossing the line before him. Vinny's just starting his out lap. Coloured Lonely's looking nicely up there in P4.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to mention. Cloud Lonely is a new reserve for, or he joined fairly recently, and I've been watching him in the practices. He's not been doing too bad, so should keep an eye
Yeah,
out on him.
I've mentioned him as well on some of the streams. I haven't seen him in the practice sessions. I don't really get into many practice sessions, but so the only time I get to see these people is in the main race, and I've been really impressed with how he kind of conducts himself on track. He doesn't seem to get into really any major issues, and he usually sets reasonably decent times. Overall, a pretty tidy racer. Adam, yeah,
Meanwhile, ties Onion Barge's lap time
look at that.
with, yeah, 119, 420. So.
But Matthias is about to cross the line.
Vance
Bance goes
crosses.
P1, but
Vance goes
Matthias
P1
is
now. Let's see
gonna.
what Matthias can
Oh
do. He goes
no!
P4 only. He's got time to do one more if he's fueled up that car though. So, which I'm sure he has. Silver's gonna cross the line next now. Somebody's in front of him. I can't see who that is. I think that's that was Edward. He crosses P14.
P1
Silver does
for
not have
Silver.
enough time, but it's P1 at the moment. But he doesn't have enough time to go again. So.
But you know what? He's got a really good bit of a few legs there on Bance. That will be tricky to beat. Who could beat that? Aaron could beat that. Maybe Vinny. Vinny's finished. Matthias,
Finished, yeah.
Onion.
Onion Barge, yeah, might have a good shot here. Matthias might have a good shot here. Vance is still going right now. He's about to finish. I don't know if he's up on his time right now. We'll see the data. Yeah, he's 3/10 up right now if he can keep this lap going as he locks up into the hairpin but gets it turned around so he can afford that. Keyboard Magnussen might have to move out of the way for him, but he might also end up giving him a good slipstream here. So if Vance can hook this up, he might be on for pole position here in the rain.
Aaron is just about to cross the finish line. A bit gingerly there across the Wall of Champions. Does he put it on pole? Oh, he does! Look at that!
18.6 for Adam. And now can Vance finish that? He's got a slipstream here going. He can only go P2, but just barely misses out here. Adam crosses the line. Next, he's not going to be able to do it. As Matthias crosses the line and barely misses out by... Look how much Matthias missed out by.
Oh my goodness. Onion Bars is the next one to cross the line. Yep. Oh, he's a little bit slow in that final.
One,
yeah. How is it going to go? Is he going to steal pole the last second? Oh, he doesn't.
He only goes P4, but that is still a good result nonetheless. 18.9, so the track obviously did get a lot better towards the end there. Mosey, I think, is the last one to cross here. He is just doing a weave, so that's...
Yeah, but that time, look at Aaron and Matthias. What is that? Was that 3... What is that? How would you pronounce that? 1/100th of a second? 1,000, sorry, yeah. 1,000. I mean, if you can imagine, I don't know if there is many mechanically minded people listening, but if you can ever get a thou, do you ever see a thou dial? It's like a really wafer thin piece of metal. It's for measuring gaps in engineering equipment and stuff. I mean, I'm probably going a bit over. Bit over your head there, but that's a bit engineering talk. But basically, that 1,000th of a second, if you can imagine those two cars sitting side by side, crossing the line, the gap between those two cars' front wing would be so small, so minute, you could hardly even see it. That's how cruel, almost 1,000th of a second slower it is. But it is effectively joint pole one, P1, yeah.
Essentially, yeah. What a quality session there in the rain. I mean, like I said, some of these guys could show up. I mean, our usual big hitters did, but I mean, it wasn't too far off from what I saw below. Colored Loney, as we mentioned, he did a very good lap there. I noticed, I think it was somebody, I think Enemy's Killer, yeah, of course, because he didn't get a intermediate run in since he hit the wall. But Thimo also, unfortunately, didn't get a run in either on the wet weather, it was only on full wets, and as far as I saw, so he didn't actually get a proper time in either.
And Bance, like I said, I mean, even though he says he was struggling, was it P3? Nicely done for him. And of course, he has all the experience from Monaco and wet race, so this should be absolute child's play for Bance after the Monaco race.
Absolutely. But yeah, now Mr. OceanChief, who is hosting this lobby. Thank you very much, OceanChief. Very cool. He sent me a picture of Wimpy's screen for the to show me the qualifying or the
Right.
rain, how the rain is gonna be for
Yes.
the race. Yeah, it's gonna be. So yeah, we're gonna be intermediates or light rain for the majority of the race, and then the last two parts of the race. Essentially, if the rain, essentially the weather breaks up the race into 6 segments. To keep it simple. So towards the second half, at the end of the second half, so the last 2/6 of the race is full wet or full heavy rain. So when the drivers decide to choose or to change to the full wets, we will see. But we're gonna see if anyone can drag these intermediates out long enough, because the full wets are extremely durable. Like you could probably go the whole race on a set of full wets, depending on the track. But like in Australia, you can 100% probably do that, or like Monza or something like that. Here, maybe not, but you could it would probably be a little bit dead at the latter part of the race. But the intermediates, you're probably gonna want to make a pit stop on for sure, like at the halfway point. But let's see if any driver can bypass that, stay out, gain that 20-something seconds, and pit onto the full wets as we are lining up here now.
Although it's customary for the person in charge of the stream to do the start, I was wondering, would you like to call the start?
I can do it if you want me to.
Yeah. I'm a bit tired, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long week, and so my mind's a little bit slow, and I'm old as well. So Mr. Triton's a much young, fresh buck, and he can keep up to speed in this. So
I don't know about that one.
I'm running on board with Aaron, so
yeah, here we go.
Off you go.
We will see how this goes here. 5 lights are on. And there they go out here. Gonna be any moment now. I'm not getting them. They're not going for me now. They're going for me. It's a tentative start there, as it is in the rain there. Aaron does get away well. So does Silver. Bance gets past.
We got a big crash in the back. Sorry, pal.
I see. So yeah, 5 people off, 6 people off. Mosey, Wimpy, and a few others just went off there. As again, the onion barge is in the wall with somebody. I didn't catch that entirely, but yeah, there's another crash here coming up towards the end of turns 1, 2, and 3. One of the Hasses goes wide there as well. The 2 Force Indias and Aaron get away cleanly. Verk has made his way up past there as diving up the inside. Carlo Lonely misses his braking, just keeps it on to the track, but has to concede to Bance and Verk as well there. All carnage breaking out here as now he's got a good run here on Bance, who might be going backwards a bit on the intermediates at the moment. And yeah, there's a lot of carnage going on here that I could not keep up with.
Yeah.
So now that it's calmed down a bit, we'll see what's going on here. So yeah, Onion Barge is in last place now because he made.
Sorry. Colorloni went for a little bit of a dive there on Bance and clipped the side of Bance's car, and looks like Colorloni's going to lose out on his teammate now, Vinny, as well with that move. Yeah, and that the start was, it looked like the Ferrari got lost of traction and spun across a couple of cars and just sent them all into the wall.
Wait, Wimpy did, or yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate for everyone there involved. It is raining. We do know how it can be, especially on the start. The starts are so hard, especially if you don't warm up the tires enough. But right now, we got yellows in sector 1 now. Somebody's gone off here. Onion Barge is into the pits, as is GK Project. Wimpy,
yeah.
Koi as well. So 4 drivers with damage. We probably have more.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give a shout out here real quick. Hopefully I'm not jinxing it this early, but Thimo went from last place almost to P11 off the start. So he jumped 7 positions in total. Keyboard Magnuson jumped 6. And Onion Barge, of course, the big loser of the of this, unfortunately getting caught up in some contact there.
Yeah.
E19
15
now from,
places he's dropped.
Yeah.
That's gonna hurt.
I I did not know if that was. I think somebody went into him and lost the traction, so might not have been at any fault of his own. Just unlucky in the scenario, as Matthias is the racing point to gain out of that. Silver jumps a couple spots here. Well, I mean, he's kept his position, but the three of them got away very cleanly. Vance did get away fairly cleanly. He got caught up in a couple incidents there, like you said, with Colored Lonely and Berg. Getting past him there. Actually, he got past Berg. Now that I look at it. Aaron still lapping very good though, and building a gap between himself and Matthias. 1.3 seconds.
Oh, Motocrosser sends one on Colored Lonely. Oh, and Colored Lonely turns in and catches Motocrosser. Yeah, he nearly lost completely there. Things are heating up in this back end of the final 10 here, or 10th place.
Oh, and Colored Lonely already gets a time penalty for exceeding track limits, as Mosey is also into the pits now. Unfortunately, he's also had some front wing damage from there, so I think who's that going slowly? Nobody is going slowly. I'm seeing things. My apologies.
Crimsonium is yeah.
Oh, sorry. Matthias is starting to gain a little bit. He made up a few tenths here, if I'm correct. But going back to what you were saying there.
Yeah, Crimsonium is really putting pressure on Keyboard Magnussen here. Keyboard must be Magnussen struggling in the wet conditions. I would say it would be very difficult on a keyboard, but Crimsonium is he's really having a good look here at the back of Keyboard Magnussen. He keeps jerking left and right, trying to see how ready Keyboard is for a lunge, and is he gonna try it here? This would be a little bit optimistic. Yeah, he backs out of it.
He just kind of. I think he kind of has a look there to. Vinny gets a penalty as well. I think he has a look just to put him off a bit, which is a fairly logical thing to do. Just give him a bit of a scare. We got yellows again in sector 1 somewhere here. I didn't see what that was, so I don't know if Matthias made a mistake or anything. He has fallen a little bit off the back of Aaron. And now the gap is almost 2 seconds there. Vance trying to catch up here. He is very close now to Silver. So he's in this too. Verk kind of falling behind them. And is coming under pressure from Vinny soon. And then we have that train that you were keeping a very watchful eye over with Motocross and Keyboard Magnussen and Crimsonium. Thimo and Adam are also in that now. So, and then we have a big-ish, not really big actually, a decent-sized gap between enemies Killer and Thimo, and Adam, I mean.
Oh, who was that? Somebody went a bit wide there. Was that Colored Lonely?
I'm not too sure. I didn't catch that on my screen. Adam got a penalty too, and so did Vinny during that whole thing there. But yeah, Motocrosser is starting to catch up to Colored Lonely, so there might have been some damage, or not damage, I mean an error there potentially. Yeah,
I think he went a bit too deep on the hairpin, and it's helped Motocrosser close right up on the back of him. He might go for a lunge here. No, this is where he went Motocrosser had a little dive down there the last time, and the Colored Lonely turning in to his normal position and nearly caught him out. So Motocrosser wise for that, and didn't try it the second time.
Meanwhile, here up front, I should be noted, no DRS probably this whole race. In fact, definitely this whole race. There is most definitely not going to be any DRS because of the weather. So everyone's going to have to rely on slipstream, which it's not too powerful in this game. So we'll see who's running the lower wings. Something I find that I do in the rain and the wet weather is I turn the wing down 1 click, or the front wing down 1 click. And maybe the rear wing up 1 click, because the front wing is where most of the downforce comes from in this game for some reason. So like, if you were running like 5.7, you would probably be getting less downforce than if you ran 6.6, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So, in the rain, the car is already going to be understeery by a bit, so I find it's okay, and I'm going to be braking a little bit early, not really over driving the car, essentially, as Motocrosser does get a penalty over the chicane there, but you would usually be able to get away with running a little bit of an understeery car in the rain sometimes.
I Thing is, these guys are all running very close to each
Oh,
other.
Collins only makes the mistake. He's in the wall. Ooh, sorry, Tipsy, to cut you off there. Yeah, he's just lost all his positions.
Coloured lonely? Oh, you mean Vinny?
Oh, is that Vinny? That's Vinny. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, Vinny is gone off. Does he have wing damage? He
Yeah, I
seems to
think.
have gotten away with it, actually. If anything, it's minor.
But no, I was going to say they're all running very close to each other. But most people seem to be reluctant to, try one on the try a move on the brakes because it's just so unpredictable. Oh, Crimsonium gets it really sideways there, a bit of a power slide. That's going to give Thimo a perfect opportunity to get him on the inside, on the outside off this hairpin. He's going to go trying the long way around. Oh, Crimsonium running him right out to the wall, but he should still have the legs on him. Oh, look at this, side by side down the main street. Something's got to give.
Yeah, this is good racing from them so far here, as neither of them giving either an inch. Let's see who's late on the brakes. Thimo much later on the brakes there, as Crimsonium. Ooh, both cut that corner a bit.
Oh, we got a Red Bull off. It's Adam.
Oh, Adam's off. Oh dear, yeah, he is out of it almost. No, he's reversing back onto the racing line.
Don't go the wrong way, Adam.
No, Adam.
No, don't do that.
He is doing it. It's working.
He got away with it. I cannot believe he got away with that.
I can't. I don't know how he did that. No, I think it's because he was off the track.
I did that and I got disqualified. Oh wait. Oh no, wait. What's happened? He just drove straight through the pits. Did he get disqualified? What's going on?
Oh, the game might be. You know what? I think we might be having a bit of a game moment here. No, he's in the pits. That was a
what?
That was a desync. No, he's got his wing back and everything. Yeah, that was just a.
The game going a bit mental.
Yeah, Adam has been a bit glitchy on my screen a few times, and that's not his fault. That's just the game. So, yeah.
I can't believe he got away with that.
Oh, Thimo is right on the back of Keyboard Nice, and if he goes a bit deep into the hairpin, Thimo gets a much better run out of it, but on the throttle is a little bit squirmy, unfortunately, so he might not be able to get the best run out of it here. We got yellows in sector 3 as well. Aaron's still pumping in fastest lap after fastest lap. So Thimo going very slow in here and fast out potentially, not really fast out of the final chicane.
Yeah, Sector 1 and Sector 3 seems to be where we're getting all the yellows, mostly Sector 1. Surprisingly, it's the last corner that people are having the issues on. You would expect them to go into the Wall of Champions, but instead they're actually trying to avoid it so much that they're actually spinning into the opposite facing wall, as we've seen Aaron do. I think that's Aaron's second pit stop for a second front wing.
Or Adams, or?
Adam, yeah.
I was going to say, Aaron's been in the lead the whole time. He made 2 pit stops, because then he must have been very fast to be still in the lead.
Yeah.
No, don't worry. It's been a long day for you, but I just woke up an hour ago, so I'm also kind of out of it, because I was like, yeah, I'm just a bit disoriented as well, so I don't blame you, especially you.
I was up at 6 o'clock this morning, gentlemen. Every morning, every single morning. Oh.
Can we get some F's in the chat for Mr. TipsyBob for his hard-working nature and his.
I'm holding the fort to provide my princess, that would be Kitsune, with the carefree lifestyle that she has become accustomed to. Although I will say that we are into lap 9, and as of yet, I have not seen a cup of tea arrive. Can I just point out, in case anyone thinks...
I'm gonna have to get Mr. Kitsune cancelled here at the rate we're going, that's all.
I just want to point out anyone who is watching, maybe before they start sending complaint letters into the EGL, that the tea that she makes is completely voluntary. She does it herself. I don't force her to do it. Can I just get that pointed out? Okay.
No, they're not gonna believe us now.
But
they're gonna think I'm endorsing this, and no, we're both getting the boot eventually.
But regardless of me putting those things correct, I am still waiting on my cup of tea.
Oh yeah, fun fact, I actually have coffee on me right now that few sips away from.
I'm not a coffee drinker.
I mean, it was made by me because.
You don't have anyone to make it for you yet?
Yeah, I don't. But anyways.
I'm dragging you too far away from this commentating. As
Yeah, no,
Vinny,
absolutely.
Vinny sent a lovely forced Crimsonium into mistake, but surprisingly, Crimsonium got that position back. I would have expected Vinny to hold that, but oh yeah, he's got a
very good
yeah,
run.
he's got a really good run on him here. Crimsonium's going to lose that position in the same way that he lost it out to Thimo.
Yeah, and he does overshoot that a little bit, but he keeps it on track. Very good job from Vinny.
Well done.
Especially after that off, he is making up ground again. So, meanwhile, Thimo, I'm watching Thimo a lot because I'm noticing his braking patterns here. Something that is very good to note even while you're driving. He is braking very conservatively, very late. It's gonna keep his tires alive a little longer because I've been watching Vance as well, his teammate, and he has been locking up a fair bit here and there sometimes because he's much later on the brakes, but in general that's still going to benefit him more by being much more aggressive in that aspect. Thimo is losing a lot of time here to keyboard Magnussen.
Yeah.
So we might have to get an order from Milos for the mode push, but unfortunately he is on vacation, so
or as Kitsune would say, sometimes when we're out on the road and there's maybe someone going a little bit slow, she would shout, "Bouge ton cul!"
I'm gonna need a translation for that.
It's a move your bum.
Oh, okay.
But not as polite.
Another time penalty as well.
It's just we've done quite a few of these so far, Triton, and it's only now that I'm realizing that I can really put you on nerve by deviating from the rail to race. Notice the awkward and uncomfortable laugh, ladies and gentlemen.
I wouldn't call it uncomfortable. I'd call it just me questioning what's happening. I just have to go with the flow at this point. As
just
I'm
embrace
watching
it.
I'm going back to the commentary now. I'm watching the battle here for the final positions. Here, Adam making up ground here on GK Project. Mosey is a little bit ahead, so Adam is going to be catching.
Oh yeah, they're going side by side on my screen. On this final.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, he gets past him again. I think he lagged back there. I saw something.
Yeah, I'm going to run on board with GK Projects here because it's looking like he wants that position back.
Is he gonna? He's getting a little bit more traction on the entries of these corners. So, not sure how the tire life is there or anything, but going back up front here. Vinny is also caught up to Thimo, so Thimo is gonna be in a little bit of a pickle here, to put it, I guess. Burke also gets himself a time penalty, but he is sitting fairly decent. Adam gets a penalty as well. Something we forgot to note is that, like, here in Canada, it is extremely easy to get a corner cut. Penalty here. It is absolutely, like,
Vinny's going for a move
like
on
guaranteed.
Thimo.
Yeah, Keyboard Magnussen is coming into the pits for a change of tires here. So I'm trying to also pay attention to the rain.
Vinny gets pushed off wide, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened there. It looked like he ran a little bit overboard. I don't know if Thimo did anything.
No,
there.
I was watching it. It's on the stream. Everything was pretty clean. Just ran a bit too wide.
Ah, okay. Okay. Well, he's still catching him very quickly here. Vinny seems to. Oh, he gets another penalty though. Yeah, I saw that. See, that's what I'm talking about. If you were on board with him there, you could see he barely did anything. I mean, if Mr. Vance watches this back, he is gonna be laughing at me for complaining about the corner cuts. But Vinny all over the traction, all over there at the rear end.
I think it's important to note that the Thimo rarely hits anyone, except of course the car in front is TipsyBob.
Or I think he hit me off once, like we were doing the public lobby. I gave him a shade for it for like a good bit of time. And Silver gets himself a penalty by overshooting turn one a bit there, or not overshooting it, but going in a little bit too deep.
Ooh, enemy killer's got the push on Keyboard Magnussen here, as we've lost Adam. But I'm gonna run on board with enemy killer. Oh, no, sorry.
He's going to the pits. He decides to back out of that.
Silver's closing up on Matthias.
Yeah, we might have to get some racing point team orders here, maybe potentially between the brothers. No. But no, to be fair, they both seem to be very equal on pace. They've just been keeping with each other.
Aaron's still up in the lead now. The last time I checked, it was 3 seconds. And then it was 5, and now it's dropped down to 3 again. So Aaron must have had a bit of an issue there, because it was 5 seconds about 3 corners ago, and it's dropped away down to 3.
I'm keeping also an eye on these two here. Yeah, Silver. I mean, I feel like with DRS, he might be. If he had DRS, it would be a little bit easier for him to catch up. But he scrapes the wall of champions there, Silver. So him being, the championship leader, that let that be known. I'm just gonna keep making that joke like an idiot for the whole broadcast, I think. But
oh, sorry, what joke?
We got a fight going on here. Yeah, Vinny having a look on the inside of Thimo there. Thimo defends it, and now has to probably hang back a bit and wait.
Going back to what we were saying earlier about the 2 Racing Point cars, the boys, Silver really doesn't need to do too much. I mean, all he is P3. He, if he finishes P3, that suits him, because his closest rival is Onion Barge, and he's sitting down out of the points. Then of course there's his brother Matthias, and he's got a reasonably decent lead on him in the championship standings. So yeah, he doesn't really have to do much. I'm gonna sneeze. Have to mute.
Oh dear. Oh, that was very epic. Bless you, Mr. Tipsy. Bless
there
you.
we are. See, the last time I did that, I don't know. The last time I was commentating with Popo on Friday, I had a sneeze as well. The problem is I didn't get it muted in time, and it sounded like a dying cat. So thankfully, I was able to get the mute in there. As Vinny's right on the back of Thimo. Oh yeah, he's really pushing him here. He's going to go for a lunge in the last corner.
Is he going to? This is yeah, he's going to back out though. Oh, Thimo is going to have to go. Yeah, he cuts the corner there, so unfortunately goes a little bit too defensive, but does keep the position at the moment. Now Vinny has another run here on him into the on the inside here of turn 1. Is it gonna work out? Thimo is defending this and fighting this, but yeah, he's a bit
he backed out
there. Oh no, he's a little bit sideways, but he keeps it under control. So Thimo gonna have a look here, but yeah, he's backing out of that there. And good job to Vinny. Good fight between them two.
Yeah, Vinny tried it earlier on with Thimo, and Thimo was basically showing, as he did say that he was going to start doing, that he's going to start, kind of getting the elbows out and showing that he's not this pushover. And so we've seen in Monaco as well how Thimo is showing, he's willing to fight for every position, and he's not just going to roll over. Oh, he nearly loses it there. So Vinny had a go a few laps ago on Thimo at that turn 1, and Thimo showed him that you shall not pass that easy. So Vinny just kind of put that in a banker and in his head and worked his way back up again and had a second go at it. And this time he made it a bit more of a convincing move.
Motocrosser is the next driver into the pits. Is it, how's the track looking? I'm going to take a look here, see what's happening. Get my weather forecast out here.
Yeah, it's looking pretty miserable.
I think Crofty made a joke once a few years back in the Sky F1 broadcast of Silverstone of having weather cows. So,
weather cows?
Yeah, I am Indian, so I don't know what the reference was, but he said he had cows positioned for pay attention to the weather. We got yellows in the second.
I can't believe I actually said that word on the stream, because that is one of the few words that people laugh at when the people from the north of Ireland say, when we say cow.
Say it again.
A cow. Because most people say cow. But in Belfast, or Northern Ireland, we would say a cow. That's a cow. And we don't say how. We would say how. How. Yeah, it took Kitty, that's Kitsune, it took her quite a while to understand the local folk.
Yes. I mean, me personally, I find that accent of yours very epic, Mr. Tipsy. So
to die for.
Matthias gets a penalty as well there, yeah. But I mean, this could just be me, and I'm just noticing things, but the rain does look like it is intensifying.
Yeah, no, it does look pretty miserable out there at the moment. GK Projects
Yes.
throws in the white towel, or throws in the flag, or what would you say? I throws in the towel. So
Yeah,
we've
but
lost two
okay.
drivers. Yeah.
He didn't necessarily retire in the pits. That could have been a bit of a bother for some of the drivers. As Edward and Wimpy are fighting it out
Yeah,
here.
I'm just watching them. I'm kind of watching them to see in terms of how the grip level is now. They are on older intermediates, but they really seem to be struggling to get the car turned into the corner. So I'm thinking maybe it is about time for these to switch over to the wets.
I don't know if this is a glitch as well, but there are two red lights on everyone's steering wheels for me right now. And yeah, now it's looking pretty bad actually, in the spray especially. The rain does seem to, yeah, the rain is definitely ramping up now. I can tell now that this is definitely not light rain. As yeah, these two are going right at it into the first corner. And we're most likely going to see the transition soon. So everyone who pit might have made a tactical error. As
Yeah.
Vance is
Oh,
pitting
maybe got a
now.
nice move drive out of the corner there. He really cut that
Oh, there
in.
we go there. Yeah, Wimpy goes right around him. Very good
That
job.
was a great pass by Wimps.
So yeah, okay, so actually Vance is, I think, is he fitting the,
I'll go and check.
intermediate? Let me see,
Yeah, it's intermediates. Is that the right
these are,
call?
I mean, maybe at this point, maybe the rain
Maybe
is
the
not
yeah.
super intense, I think. So I'm not entirely sure. But,
Looks pretty bad, like.
yeah, it does not look pretty out there at all, so, if Timo can keep going here, and by the time the changeover period comes around, he might be in a very good position. He is catching Verk right now, who seems to be struggling. Did Verk hit the wall somewhere, or am I? No, he did not. He's starting to struggle as Timo is starting to catch him up very fast now.
Onion
So
barge right on the back of Keyboard Magnuson here. Although that's actually quite surprising that the Onion barge has got 16 lap old intermediates. Keyboard's only on 6 laps, yet he can't get away from Onion barge.
Yeah, Onion barge. I mean, he had pace. We saw in the rain
Yeah.
in qualifying. Unfortunately, got caught up in that in an incident in lap 1 where we unfortunately were not able to to breathe. Whereas the rest of the race, we've been able to have some nice conversations about Northern Ireland accents. So, I mean,
Sure. What is it? I didn't can the new.
oh, he's going for a very late move. Makes contact with him, has to go onto the runoff there. Gives Keyboard Mason a warning essentially. I don't know if that was on him or not, but Timo is also in the pits here now, so that makes my previous statement null and void. As he is definitely not going to be going to the end or to the changeover. Or maybe the drivers are going to stay on the intermediates and the full wets are not going to be necessary. I don't know. As Infernal Koi makes space for the lap, or for these cars and their battle. But yeah, came out behind him. Okay, Motocrosser is right behind Onion Barge, and he's on. Let me figure this out. Yeah, he's on fresh intermediate tires compared to both of these, so he's gonna be a little bit quicker. As Onion Barge gets a penalty there as well, and we will see who can.
Yeah, this motocrosser is the closest battle at the on track with Onion Barge. So I expect to see. Oh, and they've got a blue flag as well. Who's that for?
That was for
Oh, for the Renault of Inferno.
So yeah, now Matthias pits and he comes out still ahead of Silver, I think, potentially here. Yeah, he is well ahead of him. Vance is right on the back of Silver as well, who nearly got the undercut on him there, and Verk has actually made a pit stop, so I was wrong about Timo catching him up that quickly. I was wrong, unfortunately, there as well with. Actually, no. Sorry. Disregard that, as Vance is still trying to make some ground up here. Silver is going to have a little bit more grip, since these are 1 lap younger, but it's not going to really make much of a difference. as Aaron, I mean, has just kind of run away with this. So hats off to him so far. Very good job driving from him.
Onion Bar just down to 0.3 of a second behind Keyboard Magnussen, so he's trying to get the move done on this hairpin, but Keyboard seems to be able to just get away from him. Aaron, another fastest lap, yeah.
There with the fresh tires, he's going to be on a charge here. Matthias and Silver have no answer for him, it seems. And now, yeah, with the slipstream here, he is making some good ground up on him. But Motocross is here. He's in a sandwich here between the two alphas. So
yeah.
We'll see who gets a run on who. The slipstream is helping. Oh, Inferno Koi has gone off somewhere, I think. And he is out of the session. Vinny is now the fastest car on track on those intermediate tires. As, yeah, Onion Barge is all over the back of Keyboard Magnussen, trying to find his way around.
All things considered in terms of how wet this race is, or this track is, and Canada is a wee bit slippy naturally anyway. I think the guys are doing a really great job. There hasn't been really any serious collisions, you know, with another car, apart from the start. The start was just a bit of mayhem, really, but other than that, it's been very clean.
Yeah, these three are all lined up very close to each other now. The two alphas and Onion Bar, just Motocross gets a little bit of a swapper on the rear, and now is going to not be able to get a great run now, but Onion Barge is going to have a great run here on Keyboard Magnussen. He's already on the inside defending this. Let's see what Onion Barge can do here. Tries to send it. Ooh, they make a bit of contact, and he has to run wide again. I don't think he got a penalty for that. Or he might have gotten a warning for that. As Motocross has fallen behind, yeah, now Vinny, who is getting past there, I think he's made another mistake somewhere, so. Or Vinny caught up to that and I wasn't looking. I'm not entirely too sure what happened there, but now Vinny is going to be catching these guys very quickly. But yeah, meanwhile, while this is going on, I think, yeah, that is a blue flag there for, I think, Enemies Killer or GK Project giving Onion, or Call It Lonely, some space there, and Vinny does seem very fast though right now in the.
Yeah, well, he's the fastest man on track with that previous fastest lap. So I wonder how he's gonna navigate these two. Is he gonna let them fight, or is he gonna try and force the issue? Onion Barge will be getting a bit frustrated. Well, a lot frustrated behind Keyboard Magnussen, although he's got a much better run off him.
Oh dear! Oh, wait, well, there's somebody off there. I'm sorry. I think I didn't see what happened there. I think Wimpy, Mosey, and Edward were fighting there, and Silver made contact with them. I didn't exactly see what happened there, but and Matthias as well. Wimpy, I don't think he let them through, and he was battling with Edward, and I think he made some contact with them. I'm not too sure what happened there, as now he's letting him go here, I think. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and but yeah, I'm gonna have to review that. I didn't know what happened there, but I saw one of the force racing points going off the track completely there, nearly. So that was interesting.
Also, whenever Onion Barge was going for that pass on Keyboard Magnussen on the main street was defending was he on the inside or side the racing line?
Oh, Motocrosser's off. Sorry, I think both of them have gone off. That means yes, because oh dear, yeah, his wing is totaled there now as his teammate is coming around. So sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, he was defending the move on Onion Barge, like up against the wall. It looked like initially on the stream, Onion Barge basically didn't give him much room. And just before I clipped away on the stream, Keyboard Magnussen got squeezed up against the wall, and he got sent into the pits. Now, whether he went into the pits intentionally, I'm not sure, or whether that incident kind of forced him into the pits. I'm sure we're going to find out after the race.
Oh dear, Wimpy is struggling a bit on the traction there. Keeping an eye out here because I think Edward. Yeah, no, it was between him and Edward. There was something going on there. I think between the blue flags. I don't think they noticed it or something. I'm not entirely certain.
And did they hold up one of the leaders?
I think I'm not sure because I saw one of them. I don't know if it was Matthias or Silver off the track on the runoff for turn one. Oh, Matthias actually overshoots the hairpin there, but so he's gonna lose. This is not helping him in his pursuit of Aaron. So this is just handing Aaron more time, who's driven very smoothly. So I don't know if Matthias has damage. Does he?
Yeah, Aaron hasn't been like running away with it, but he's just been very slowly, lap after lap, just slowly stretching the lead gradually, as opposed to like massive gaps. I mean, it was sitting at 3 seconds, then 5 seconds, and now 8 seconds. Well, 9 pretty much. I mean, I think it's safe to say he is gonna win this race. That is, of course, there's no issues. I have been kind of cursing everyone with my spectators or commentators curse, because it seems to be whenever I pick someone and commentate on them, how they haven't crashed yet, they end up crashing. So we can always test the theory. Who would you like me to try it out on?
Let's see what happens if we spectate. Who am I spectating right now? Let's try Keyboard Magnuson because that's what I'm on right now.
All right. Keyboard Magnuson. And I just want to point out as well that my little French bulldog has walked into my room, and he's normally been banished from the room during the stream. So hopefully you don't hear any grunting or farting.
Mr. Eddie, I believe.
That's yes. Mr. Eddie, yes.
The legend himself, gracing the stream with his presence as Onion Barge is now catching up to Crimsonium. These two did have a coming together last race, so we'll see how these two go at it this time. Yeah, and I believe Onion Barge he actually got a penalty for putting him into the wall at the chicane. So hopefully Crimsonium is not holding a grudge, and hopefully Onion Barge this time is able to get the move done cleanly. Shifting into 5th gear.
Yeah, I've seen that. And it seemed to work. Look at the drive he's got on him.
Very well. Yeah, that worked very well. What a shot out of there. As these two go wheel to wheel here. Onion Barge gets ahead, in fact, before the corner. Very nicely done. Very well executed there as well. I mean, you wouldn't expect 5th gear to work there.
No.
I mean, at all. Because, yeah, Onion Barge even sets the fastest lap for good measure there. And is going to be catching up to Mr. Thimo now. So
Mozzie's on the back of Edward. Oh, they're getting blue flags as well. They need to move. Who do they need to move for?
I believe that's Colored Lonely. So, yeah, they got to move right now. Like, right now. So, we'll keep an eye out here. In case any tomfoolery occurs, they're going right at it, though. And, yeah, they're not moving at all, though.
They're going to have to move. They're going to get a penalty.
Now Mosey is not really moving, no.
Blue flags, boys.
Come on, give us.
He needs to lift off.
Yeah, he needs to move. Yeah, now he's gone off the line there now. Okay, so there. Now he moved in a good spot here, actually, because he was on the straight. So is that Vinny or Colored Lonely? No, it is Colored Lonely. So let's see what he does now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now Edward is gonna have to move as well, going into this turn here now soon. The game does penalize you if you take too long, but it's very inaccurate. I had an incident once, I think season 1 of SLR, where I was held up by somebody who I'm not going to mention because I don't want to get banned from the league.
Name and shame him.
No, you want me to name? No. No,
you don't have to,
man. He knows what he did. I mean, he was trying to help his teammate, but it worked a little bit too much, and the game actually ended up penalizing him. So I believe that was enough for me. So I was like, it's not worth the report. But anyways, yeah, when it comes to blue flags, you have to give up your fight. That is the rule. The main rule is even if you're in the if you're going wheel to wheel with somebody and you come up on blue flags, you have to give that up. Like both of you have to give it up.
Yeah, but you also have to do it in a safe and a reasonably decent place as well.
Yeah. we saw it last week. Wimpy did move, but was trying to keep the fight going, and
Yeah.
there was contact, but it is debunked. That was desync.
Yeah.
But it was an example of how things could go bad, essentially, in that scenario, if you don't pay attention to the blue flags. So
Yeah, if you're gonna let anyone pass, just usually on a long straight is the best place to do it, because all you have to do then is just lift off the throttle. You don't lose as much time, and give them plenty of room, just to avoid the issues of the desync.
I mean, that's another thing, is that you can't really blame yourself for that. That is on the game, hands down. There are scenarios, I was discussing this before, like scenarios where desync could be prevented. But I mean, in the end, desync is kind of on the game or on the net code of the person, which, excuse me, I think I caught your sneeze, but hopefully I muted it in time. But yeah, you can't really pin that on anyone in particular, I guess. It's just these things happen.
Don't worry, I'm nursing another sneeze, and I'm thinking about just letting the whole world embrace it.
We gotta. I mean, at this point, we should just embrace it. I think we got each other sick.
Yeah.
Through the microphone. But okay, Onion Barge gets another time penalty. He got past Thimo somewhere there, and I did not notice. So, my apologies. Things are kind of neutralized though. Because everyone is spread very thin.
Yeah, there's not many on-track battles to show, so I'm just running on board with Aaron, showing how he's able to do it, and he's actually coming up the lap motocrosser.
I'm sure. Sure. Hopefully this time there will be no issues with motocrosser and a blue flag, considering he's the one getting them. So, watching here. There's something I actually did notice. Is that the full wets were not necessary, it seems. There's only a handful of laps to go here, and I don't think they're going to be changing. So
Mozzie's bumping the back of Edward, so he is, on these corners.
Here, yeah.
So I'm just running on board.
Battle now.
Yeah. Oh, careful.
Yeah, he nearly goes into the back of it there and has to get out of it, loses the rear a bit, which kind of saved Edward, potentially. But, oh wow, this is looking very tight here. He gets a much better
don't touch
exit
the
here.
rear.
Bit of contact there, yeah, this is... I mean, the wheel banging is acceptable here,
Yeah.
but you gotta be careful in the rain regardless. He tries to feed it around the outside. Edward defends on the inside, chops him off, and does he take his front wing with him?
I didn't see no front wing damage at all.
Or did Mosey already have some front wing damage, or am I just seeing things? Yeah, now he's got a hell of a run on him now, though. But with it seems the straight line speed is lacking, and he's running out of ERS as well. As Motocrosser gets a penalty, and oh dear, this is starting to take off a bit.
5 laps to go. I will apologise to anyone listening if they've been wondering why TipsyBob has not been his kind of talkative self. Oh! Silver's left the session.
Oh no, not like this.
Not
guys.
like this.
Let me try and get him a quick invite back.
Yeah. So why are you doing that? Normally I'm not more talkative, but as I did say at the beginning of the stream, I am extremely tired, and it's not very professional. Yes, but I have to work. So apologies if I haven't been my talkative self. That's why we are lucky to have Mr. Triton, the young fresh Triton. Not the old. Silver's back.
Young fresh is a bit of an overstatement, I would say. Okay, we got Silver back in, so hopefully he doesn't lose too much time here. I don't think Vance is gonna overtake him.
Mozzie's right on the back of. These guys are. Mozzie wants 14th place position. He just wants it. It's like it's not worth anything, but I want it. He's coming for it.
Oh yeah, now on the inside he goes into the final chicane. Onion Barge is coming up to lap them now too. They're gonna have to. Oh, Edward gets a penalty. So they're gonna. Yeah, okay, they're moving out of the way now. I think for him, or Edward does for his teammate, like a very good teammate should.
Yeah, I'm gonna run on board with Onion to see how Mozzie behaves here.
Yeah.
Well out of the way.
Now. Okay, moves well out of the way. Is he gonna lose out that position? He does not lose out to Edward. Very good job, guys. Okay, and Wimpy as well is now moving for somebody. I think that was
Colored Lonely?
I think that was Vinny. Or
No,
Colored
that's
Lonely,
the
I'm not
Colored
sure.
Lonely. Yeah, it's Colored
Yeah,
Lonely.
Colored Lonely. Yeah.
Hey, if Colored Lonely gets, I don't know if that's a spare seat available, but I mean he's looking pretty tidy. The joint Vinny in the
Yeah,
Haas.
that is a Netflix. He's,
Oh yes, that's right.
But I mean, there might be some driver lineup changes, but we never know. We are in the. This is the first third of the season down, and so essentially the first part. If you split it into 3 parts, so far we've had quite a season. I mean, we may as well talk about that now. You and I mentioned this in Australia that Tier 2 was probably the way to go, or the one to watch over Tier 1 even, because of the excitement that we have with the drivers and the battles that we could have. I mean, Silver pretty much the second half of the first 7 races. I mean, now Silver's pretty much run away with the last 3 wins going to him.
Can I not to kind of cut you whenever you're in your stride, but
of course.
Is there any particular reason why Silver's 19th? Is that a bug?
Yeah, I think it is. He should be ahead of Vance. I'm not sure what happened there. Did the game pit him in or something? And we didn't see. No, he couldn't have, because I know he would. Okay. So let's see.
I mean, if that's what's happened, then that isn't.
No, Vance. Vance is behind him. I think that's what should be happening. If that happens, he will get his position back, because we can see it. That we know I know he's ahead of him, because I saw it right before that happened. Like right when he clicked the join back thing, the game kind of goofed and put him behind. Because look, his time is.
Yeah, you're right, because behind Vance is the Renault of Verk. So yeah, so they are in order. He is actually running in P3. It's just the stream, just for the benefit of the stream. Silver is a P19 on the stream, but he's really running in P3.
Yes. Okay. Oh, somebody's gone off there. That's Wimpy in the pit lane area. So he is yeah, he's something's happened here. He's trying to get it back up to speed now. Okay, let's see what's happening. I think he's got wing damage as well. Nah, he's lost out to Mosey, and Edward is trying to go around him. Yeah, he is struggling quite a bit here. Edward, it would be wise to let Edward go here to prevent anything more. Yeah, there we go. Is he gonna still try and fight the Edward? Something seems to be wrong actually with his controller. I think potentially, because whenever he was shifting, whenever the thing shifts up, he is yeah, and also he's got some hefty understeer as well. He's gonna have to move right now, because there's he's got blue flags. So I think that's Thimo. Right behind him. Yeah, Thimo behind him. He's gonna move now. Oh yeah, his controller disconnected. Yeah, I was gonna say that it seemed like something was wrong with his controller. So yeah, thank you, Mr. Gloomy, for the insight there.
Thank you, Gloomy.
Yeah, I was noticing it. I'm like, why is it? Because whenever I believe he is using shifts up, it's like moving up and down, and I'm wondering what's happening, and it seems like all of a sudden he's losing some control. So
well, Crimsonium P9 is closed up onto the back of Wimpy, on the blue flags, but Keyboard Magnuson is also caught up on the back of Crimsonium, not as close as he was earlier, but these blue flags could come in to maybe help Keyboard Magnuson.
Let's see what's happening here. Yeah, Keyboard Magnuson is oh yeah, Wimpy he moves out of the way for him there, and Crimsonium ekes out as much slipstream as possible. He's got to move now though. Yeah, there we go. There's only so much you can do in that scenario.
Yeah.
So yeah, Crimsonium does seem to benefit from that actually.
I tell you, there's actually a battle forming here for the final lap. Verk on Vance.
Oh yeah, for the
P4. Release P4, yeah.
Yeah, Vance seems to be struggling a little bit. I think Vance is missing front downforce actually. He is missing some front wing. I just noticed. So that might be it. But he should be able to hold on potentially if he keeps it. If he keeps Verk behind him into the, and gets a good run out of the hairpin. And also there are penalties to consider here. I don't know how many Verk has, which I will take a quick look at right now.
Okay, and I'll stay for this final lap. Aaron is probably most likely, well, he is. He's going to win it, the race. So the real battle here is between Verk and Bance. As we hear from Triton, Bance is suffering some front wing damage, I think, or some downforce issues.
Yeah, and also I'm looking at it. Bance has 3 penalties. I
3
think,
penalties?
And yeah, from what it tells me, 3 penalties plus Verk has 2. So Verk will get this position.
Yeah.
If he keeps it clean, I think. We lost Keyboard Magnuson already. What happened?
I'm not sure. I'm running on board with Motocrosser.
Yeah, did he go into the Wall of Champions? Potentially. I am not too sure.
Oh, there's a lot of damage lying. Yeah, there's a lot of car body parts lying around the.
As Aaron crosses the line to win, and I saw him weaving there in the background there.
Verk gets them passed on Bance on the hairpin.
Oh yeah, and I think Vance just is not gonna fight. Oh, is he gonna fight this again? Yeah, Matthias finishes P2. Silver should be P3. So ignore the glitched scenario here. Vance has a look down the inside here.
Oh
no!
no!
And they're both around. And who's gonna get past there? Colin Lonely gets past both of them, and he's actually gonna claim.
And Verk loses. Verk loses out to Vinny and
because the End Onion Barge gets past them both and is up in a P4 because of that. And Vinny gets ahead of Matt.
Oh, I'm not sure about that one.
That's gonna be very not gonna sit well with Mr. Verk there.
No.
Vance was alongside him, and Verk did kind of squeeze him. To be fair, from what I saw, I'm not trying to defend Vance or anything, but I mean it was a very fine margin. Vance did go for an ambitious move, so Verk does get P5, so he loses 1 position out of that, but he could have had a couple more points, and he is probably not going to be too pleased with that either. And I'm sure Vance is one to admit he's not going to be he's not going to just like say flat out that he had the right to do that or anything if he didn't, you know what I mean? But
well, he's allowed to contest the position, right to the very end. There's no problem with that. I guess it kind of comes into just one's own judgment in terms of if you've got 3 penalties, is it really worth it then? Because you're going to finish behind him anyway.
Yeah, and he gave himself another by doing that, so he lost a lot of positions. He could have been P3 towards the end there, or P4 in that race, and then just went downhill from there, unfortunately. He nearly lost out to Thimo as well. Actually, no, Thimo was well behind, but yeah. Things took off at the end there. And Silver finished 30 laps in P19 according to the game, when we know for a fact that he was P3 on track, so we're going to ignore that.
Alright, well, I will then look at the screen where it says time penalties, and everyone in the top 14, let me see, top 14 got time penalties.
Had a time penalty. I'm pretty sure everyone did.
Yeah, everyone. I don't think I've ever seen it before where everyone in the lobby gets a time penalty.
I mean, that's Canada for you.
It's kind of a testament, to just how difficult it is in Canada, let alone when it's wet.
Absolutely. It's a whole, I mean, in the wet I find it easier myself, but for others it might not be. It's very different. But yeah.
But we've got the interview screen on.
So who are we?
If we want to get someone in, you can turn away with the interviews, and I'll get the little bunny and the pug up.
All right. So let's see. Before we do that, let's discuss our driver of the day.
Oh yes.
So the people I have in mind are Aaron, of course, because of in the conditions and the way he dominated the race. I mean, you gotta hand it to him there. I know we're not always ones to do that. And also,
go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say there's him. There is I also want to consider Onion Barge because he pulled off a very impressive recovery drive, and there's also Thimo, who did very well to come from essentially last in the grid to claim some points, because you could tell he was struggling as well.
Well, my take on it, everyone you say are worthy mentions for the driver of the day, but as you also said, something that we don't normally do, and something we try to avoid doing, is giving it to someone that leads from the front. But I think this is a slightly different scenario whereby it is Canada. It is a difficult track regardless, to keep it on track in the dry. But to do it in the wet, and where everyone seemed to have been struggling, everyone was having issues, and Aaron was just sailing on, just marching on P1, into the pits, came back out in P1, and he commanded it to the end with almost no issues from what I can see. So I think for me personally, out of everyone that stands out, it would be Aaron or Verk.
Verk did very well.
Because I think Verk was definitely worth a mention as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, we have the standings here as well, the provisional standings before penalties. Because Mr. Dead Pixel, as usual, right on it.
Yeah, I won't be able to get it onto the stream, so if you can just let us know.
Okay, so at the moment, Silver is this is not the right one. There it is. Okay. So at the moment, Silver is right now we have a racing point 1-2 for
I'll try and get it on the stream. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, we have 125 points for Silver, and Matthias is now P2 with 93. Onion Barge is just right behind him with 91, as he did claim the fastest lap this race. And Aaron, now with that win, is P4, ahead of Bance and Thimo, who are P5 and 6 respectively. And behind them is Burke, and Vinny is now P7 as well. And looking down at the grid here, it's curious to note podiums and the distribution of that. So far, it's looking very, very competitive. I mean, Jeremy hasn't been showing up, but he's his one finish, he had P3, and he was running well in Monaco, so we know he's there. Keyboard Magnussen is quick depending on the track, and Crimsonium has claimed some good points here, showing up as well below here. Just something I thought I'd note. The competitive aspect here in Tier 2 is very much there. It may not seem like it after today, but it is. But anyways, looking here at the...
I have the standings on the screen now.
Yes, the constructors now is looking very good as well for Racing Point, who in the beginning I chose as my favorites for the...
Yeah, I think we both agreed to that. You were saying with the Red Bull, yeah, I think I may be talking out of turn here, but I think maybe that Red Bull seat with Jeremy is vacant now. I'm not sure if he has retired or if he's still racing.
I will take a look at that. Yeah, afterwards.
But I have the standings on the stream now. Everyone can see there. Silver riding nicely high.
Okay.
Yeah, it is actually quite competitive, as you're saying. P2 is like really hotting up between Matthias and Onion Barge, and then what's that? Let's say if P4, 3, whatever, between Aaron and Bance, they're on bang on the same points. And then Thimo and Verk again competitive, and then from Verk, Vinny down to who would you say? Vinny right the way down to Keyboard Magnussen. They're all fighting for position.
Yeah, I would say it's. I mean, and it's only everyone is fighting for position at this point because it's only 7 races in. But as we pointed out, I mean, this is absolutely insane so far from Tier 2, and today might have been a little bit of a less of a
bit of a washout.
Yeah.
Excuse the pun.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Aaron just completely ran away with it, but it was still very good to see how these guys combat the rain. But anyways, I believe I mean, if you're okay with it, I would choose Aaron as my driver of the day.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with Aaron.
I will take the Mr. Incognita approach and choose the fastest guy on the day for it. But let's move on with the interviews now as we move our couple of guys here.
Okay, I'll get
the
the rabbit and the pug ready.
You guys can't see it, but Mr. Aaron wrote that he loves us in the chat, so you know.
Oh, Aaron, the feeling is mutual.
The feeling is very much mutual.
The love is real.
But yeah, congratulations on your very dominant win. How was that for you?
Fun, but a bit boring. A bit boring. Not much really happened.
It gotta be you're not gonna be what's the word?
My
Humble
phone,
about it. Yeah, gotta.
yeah, my phone went, so I couldn't watch the live stream. Was it like an interesting race, or was it kind of boring? I didn't really.
I don't know about that. We were just
It-
saying it wasn't the most
it-
exciting race.
Yeah, it had its moments.
Yeah.
I was so close to hitting the barrier on one. You know, I think Bob said I lost like 2 seconds.
Yes.
On like one corner. Yeah, I lost it, and I almost hit the wall. But I went onto the grass and I managed to save it. That was a heart and mouth moment.
Yeah, because you were, I think you were up to, what was it, 8, you were 5 seconds ahead of Matthias, and then within one corner it dropped right down to 2.9. So, you know, it showed on the timing that there was an issue there.
Oof, that was close.
But
yeah, apart from that, pretty clean.
I was saying at the start of the stream, me and Triton were talking about you, how you're a real contender. And I was just saying how it's a shame that we haven't had you for every race, because I have on the standings on the stream, and you can see you missed Bahrain, you missed China, and you missed Monaco, and you've got you've 2 race wins. I reckon it's just this pity that we didn't have you for more races, because you would be much what you're P4 at the moment, but I think you would be pretty pushing silver all the way. And hopefully we can keep you, see more races off you the rest of the season.
Yeah, summer, gotta get the town on. And everything, so.
We didn't get much summer. What are you talking about, man? Well, maybe you did.
I've been going away.
Oh, are you?
I'm staying here. I'm staying here, yeah. No, but now that like summer's kind of coming to an end, like I'm not really planning to go anywhere, so. Hopefully I can do as many races as possible, because it's quite fun. It's a close battle right now, even though, I think you said it doesn't look like it, but like loads of drivers are like just as good as each other, to be honest.
Well, on the standings, you can see that it is really competitive, right down to what's that, P10 or whatever that is, Keyboard Magnussen.
Yeah, I think it's more just Silver has a gap, doesn't he? Yeah,
Silver just got those 3 wins in a row, kind of stretched that lead, but you can see on the standing that he's always been there. He hasn't dropped anywhere below P5. Yeah. So he's got the consistency, and then of course Matthias is also coming behind him there with the 3 second places. But then, as I'm saying, you can see on it for your name the 3 big did not starts, and because you say you were topping up your tan, which is, there's no harm in that. But if you had been on the track, you'd definitely be higher. But I really enjoy watching you race, because I don't know, it's just there's a real, for me when I watch this there's a real confidence that whenever you're racing, you are so confident on track, you know that you're going to make the corner. And whenever I see on the qualifying, I can see that you're on an outlap. I'll always, there's a couple of guys that you can expect at pole, and you're one of them. So that's the kind of, for me, the kind of excitement it is watching you, as well as Silver and Bance and the rest of them. That's why I want to see more of you.
That qualifying was amazing. What was it? 1,000th of a second.
Yeah.
That was close. That was fun. I didn't hook up like any laps, more or less, and that last one just came together, and I managed to put on pole, which was so satisfying.
Pole on the wet in Canada, that's pretty epic.
Yeah, every time, like you always, when you're in qualifying in the wet, you're always like struggling to keep the traction down because you're pushing, but you're trying not to like spin or anything. And it's just so satisfying when you pull it off, and by 1,000th, it's even better, to be honest.
Yeah, but as we've said, we don't generally, in Tier 2, we kind of steer away from giving it to people who just, qualify a P1 and then just sail away. Because although I'm kind of giving it a bit of an unjust by saying it's a bit too easy, but I know it's not. But if you can qualify P1 and just lead the rest of the race, fair enough. But we generally kind of steer towards people who really do something impressive on track to claim a position. But the reason why I was saying this is a little bit different is because it's Canada and because it was so wet. You just commanded it from the beginning, and that's why I think you deserved it, and Triton agrees.
Yeah, it was a good race. I think Onion Marge had a really good recovery. He spun and was like last, and then he managed to bring it up to P5, I think, P5.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say. I actually forgot my train of thought when I was speaking there. But the reason why, the other reason why, again, driver of the day for the reasons I pointed out, but also because of the competition that you're up against, Silver, Matthias, Onion Bars, and Bance. These guys are quick, and Vinny as well. These guys are very quick, and as you've seen in the qualifying, 1,000th of a second away. But even at that, you were still able to just sail away. I mean, I think Australia was a fantastic debut race for you. Me personally, watching you with the couple of races we've seen, I think that's been your best race today.
It was a good race. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, I hope to have more races like that where I can just sail off into the lead and nobody can bother me.
Well, no, we don't want that. we don't want you just sailing away. We want to see a bit of a battle.
All the battles can happen in second or below.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. As long as we get a bit of, as long as we get a bit of on action, me and Triton will be happy.
Thank you.
Anyways, now that's there, let's move on to Mr. Silver.
Bye.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks.
Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, let's move on to Mr. Silver, who apparently finished 30 laps below everyone, which we know is absolutely not true.
P19.
Yeah, P19, 30 laps down.
You can handle this one, Triton, because I want to get my wee pug and rabbit on.
All right. So Silver, anything interesting happened? It seemed very clean. I did notice something though. I actually wanted to talk to you about what happened. I saw something happen with the back markers into turn 1. I don't know if that was you or Matthias.
Yeah, Infernocoy was Matthias letting through. So I thought he was letting me through as well, but he pushed a little back, so I was behind him, but he was on the inside of the corner, and I didn't thought he was staying on the inside, so I ran in the back of him.
Okay.
Yeah, so I pitted, but the crew didn't change my front wing, so I had to race the whole race with front wing damage. And then in lap 30, Matthias told me I was disconnected, so I quickly left the lobby and I rejoined. But when I rejoined, I saw I was in lap 1 of 35.
Yeah,
I was 41 minutes behind Adironov, so was a bit glitched.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on with the game there, but I mean, the point of the matter is we know that you were P3, so you will get that position back. And in fact, it was already put in to the standings, so we don't have to worry about that. And now, I mean, this is a good opportunity to ask you. This is the first third of the season done, and you're leading the championship and the constructors, especially the constructors, by quite a bit. How has the first part of the season been for you so far?
Actually, I was a bit scared for the first part because I know Matthias is pretty good at the first part, but most of the time I'm not that good. I'm probably better in the second part, but yeah. So I was a bit scared, but I think it went very well. I was just trying to stay behind Matthias this race because I knew if I was overtaking him, I was probably gonna slow him down and stuff. So I was just staying behind him and following him to keep it clean.
Okay. Okay, so that's actually interesting because I actually thought, I mean, I think you guys are fairly even on pace, from what I've been seeing, especially in through the was it through the race. I noticed you guys he wasn't necessarily making a ton of ground up on you, but until towards the end there, when that incident happened. But you guys were just kind of keeping within like an even distance, and your lap times were almost identical from the looks of it. So
Yeah,
it was
before the
interesting
pit
to know.
stop. Before the
Yeah,
pit
yeah.
stop, I was always within 2 seconds of him, I think. And every time I was within a second, I was just letting him go. So the dirty air wasn't too much, but I had to watch out for Benz behind me because he was pushing. Uh, but yeah, I was listening to Jeff and he told me he had already 6 seconds penalty. So yeah, and after pit stop, yeah, I don't know what happened to him, but he lost a lot of time.
Okay. All right. So then that's interesting. But yeah, that is I think that's gonna be it for us now, because before Mr. TipsyBob collapses over the weight of all the fatigue on him, and hopefully he has Mr. Eddie sorted out here. As actually I lied, we have another another person to interview. Dear. Okay, so Mr.
Gaming?
Gaming, yes. The gamer himself. And Mr. Timo Brown is here as well. Our fellow 2SR our SLR commentator for Tier 1. We'll start with you, Mr. Bance. What happened? What happened in the end there? I'm gonna go right to it.
Oh wait, you want to interview me as well? I thought you were
I
gonna
do.
show shot.
No, well, no, you guys joined in, so we're gonna interview you guys.
Oh shit.
We need to watch the language. Remember?
Oh frick.
Yeah, I'm
What the
gonna
heck?
get fired now
I'm
again
sorry.
by Mr. EGL.
Frick.
yeah.
Okay.
Not again.
Sorry.
Again.
I'm hacking sorry. You know
Okay,
what
okay, that's some
happened?
epic gamer language now. No, we need.
One game.
No, okay. Before we go any further, I'm gonna bring up a shout out to Timo for his microphone censoring him one time because I accidentally cursed in a Steam message, and when I think it was. Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I read it out, and exactly in the moment where I said the
Right when
potty
he said
mouth
the word.
Yeah.
Right when he says it,
What word?
Pretty
the
careful.
microphone cuts
I
out,
don't
and
know.
Terror is just like, and he's just like, oh god, did I say? And Terror's, oh yeah, you said, but I think your microphone saved you.
What
That
word?
was pretty cool. I don't know.
It was a bad word. It was a bad word. I
Well,
apologize.
I mean,
It might start with F and end with lippity poo. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, some very bad word. Anyways,
I never did
Mr.
understood German. Oh well.
Entschuldigen Sie.
So Mr. Bon, how was the race for you?
Had the same thing happen to me as in I think the last 3 consecutive races where I dink my wing because I'm clearly not generational talent, and then the game refuses
Oh yeah,
to
you're
fix
not.
it.
You mean
So
you're not? It's Triton. That's what's happening.
it just keeps happening, man. It's really annoying.
Yeah, I
I know I
mean,
threw a bit of a fit over it on when we were in the race, but like I'm really kind of at the point now. It's just like because like this time, you know, Silva, I had him in front of me, but like after the wing issue, that whole thing was over. Then I saw Verk was pushing up on me too, and I'm just like, God damn it! Like the race was over after the pit stop because they just didn't change my wing. So annoying.
Yeah,
It was fully yellow as well. At least like one side was greenish, the other one was fully yellow, but they didn't fix it. I don't get it.
same thing
Yeah,
happened
that's
to
the
Silver.
problem. Yeah.
So that is the F1 game showing its
Well,
sleeves.
Bance, just to touch on, you were saying Verk was pushing up on the end of you. It's I don't want to I don't want to predict anything, but I would say that it is likely that there may be a wee report. Would you want to take this opportunity to explain anything, or do you want to just leave it?
Yeah, it's looking to me like a swift into
throw
ban
shade
right
at
now.
Verk.
So you know.
I don't know. I mean, I had a message, like I had a friendly conversation with him on Steam afterwards, and he said he knew I had the penalties and everything, and that he was safe from me in that aspect. So I don't really understand why he decided to do that, but I think, I mean, from what I've rewinded, it kind of looks like he just turns into me, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I want to wait till actual people with eyes look at that, but
Maybe he
Okay.
wanted to.
So I guess you would say that we speak after.
yes, I mean, I would hope the 3 second time penalty I got from getting put off track by it will get removed because I think I would
Yeah.
gain 3 positions from it. So
I
take
think
that.
they'll have a look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, I appealed it already.
But
Okay.
as for Verka, I don't know what happened, to be honest. It's
Yeah.
it's just a tricky corner, and it was wet, so
Yeah. Understandable. These things may happen. I guess
things may
I'll.
happen.
No, don't worry. Don't worry, Vance. These things may happen, but next race will be the best one.
We'll see.
Before I
see.
go any further, preach for Milos right there, who is unfortunately not here. Mr. Timo, our final interview, and then I can finally go eat something. Today it's 1:00 p.m. My time almost.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of eating something, today's race I was under a lot of pressure because McLaren told me if I don't beat my teammate once, they will start paying me in chocolate bars again, like they always do.
That was
When you're
again.
under yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
fun
that's
fact,
kind That's kind of the reason why I always come second, because I love chocolate bars. So
Yeah, no, so
He's
so
just aiming at these Fredo
the other
chocolate
McLaren. I mean, we have 3 generations of McLaren drivers between us. So we've got.
yes,
I believe we've got. Yeah.
but only 2 of us are champions.
Excuse me.
True. That's true.
I mean, when I come back this weekend for SLR because I missed the 2 races, we'll see about that. But anyways.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna catch
Can
me
I
in
ask
pants.
one question?
You didn't give us much choice there, Timo.
Yes, to Mr. Tipsy. If you always get second just to get Fredo chocolate bars, why don't you just finish first to get money to buy Fredo chocolate bars?
You know that's 2 questions.
I'm not gonna answer them. Moving on.
Yeah, we speak after.
see,
Once again.
The first question was whenever you said, "Can I ask you a question?" So you don't get 2 questions.
Oh, that joke is so old. But I
Oh,
guess
well, I'm old.
fair enough for
So,
you.
hey,
Tipsy.
hey.
That's an OceanChief level joke there.
Look, hang on a minute. Hold on 2 seconds, Timo. Listen, hang on a minute, right? Timo, you will be joining me at the ELG tournament commentating. Is that right?
Oh hell yeah.
Well,
Oh, hell yeah.
so just listen. You can either have it a really enjoyable experience or a really painful experience. I was
What would be painful about it.
difficult and awkward and uncomfortable as I was trying with
Basically,
Mr.
really
Triton.
hot.
Yeah. So just be careful how you talk to me. Okay.
Okay, so Timo.
I never know what the appropriate response is because I never understand a word you say. So
No one does.
no one does. At this point, we've been guessing for 2 years.
I understand every single word Mr. TipsyBob says. We have that kind of synergy going on. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, I don't
boy.
think that's how that works.
Yeah,
I
I don't
mean,
think so as well. But
Okay. Anyways, Timo, let's interview you. You went from last place to 8th place. How do you feel about your performance, and how does the team feel?
Timo will be able to get the interviewed if he stops throwing triggers out, because he'll get shot down every time.
okay, so I am very happy with the performance. I mean, I thought maybe the result looks good enough in a cosmetic sense that I might yoink driver of the day, even though I did like I don't know 1 pass after turn 2.
You were a contender for it.
I heard it. I was very happy about that. The start was pretty funny because, you know, Wimpy does the thumbnails, and his thumbnail for this exact stream we are currently
Oh, yeah.
broadcasting is people dying in turn 1 in Canada, exactly the way Wimpy died in wet weather conditions.
Yeah, and he took about 10 people with him.
predicted this, and that unfolded like a curtain of carnage ahead of me, and I just went through, and I gained 4 positions through that, and then I gained like 2 with traction before it happened, and 1 after that. So I had a really good start, like uncharacteristically good. And after that, I just drove my race. I tried not to spin. Could have been the only finisher without a penalty, but you know, I had a fight with Winnie, and I went off track, which was unfortunate.
That's
I had a
the
good
best.
fight with Crimsonium. That was pretty cool.
That's the best comment I've heard on the stream for a long time. A curtain of carnage.
Yes.
A curtain
Very
of carnage. Very,
Yeah.
So
very.
we're adopting that. We're stealing that from you now.
Oh yeah,
Oh damn it!
Yeah. So
I will be stealing
you heard
that.
it here, folks. You heard it here.
A curtain
The
of
tier 2
carnage.
commentators. Yes, the tier 2 commentators are coining that before they can.
Damn it.
Timo,
Guys.
Tara's not gonna be happy about this.
Hold on a minute. Hang on a minute. Tara has got that intro video which he promised he would send me, and he still hasn't sent it. So if he can get the intro video, we're getting a curtain of carnage.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm going
You
to
heard it.
upload. I'm going to upload my footage of it now. I'm going to call the video "Curtain of Carnage." So
Curtain of
you
carnage.
heard it first on my very cool channel, in which I only upload me crashing.
That's all we ever see in the streams either.
2SRL Timo on YouTube.
The only difference in the
plus
stream,
10,
Timo, the only difference on you crashing in the stream is that you're not crashing into me for a change.
What do I not crash? I didn't.
You don't crash.
Oh, for goodness sake, Timo, how are we gonna do the?
You cut out. You cut out. That's not my fault.
You did cut out.
Yeah.
I understand what you were gonna say though.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Because Timo doesn't have first comprehension skills. He says that at least on the stream when you crash out, you're not crashing out him.
Exactly.
Oh, cool. Also, I'm not very happy with. The team wasn't happy with the results to come back with that because they wanted me to finish out of balance because it's proven that he's bad at video games. At least that's what they fed me through radio all race, and then he finished out of me. So non-epic gamer moment.
I only
Gotta
said
say.
that I was going to take up fishing if that continues.
You only said you're bad at video games like 7 times.
Yes, and saying what
But
my
if
plans
I
are to
but
fish.
if I complain about Wimpy 73 times, you mute me. That's pretty.
Because there's a very easy way to fix it. You just dive once and the problem is solved.
Yeah,
Being bad at the
because
hobby
Wimpy can't hold me up anymore if he's got 3 tires left.
There you go.
Could you take on any more boring hobby bands than fishing? I mean, the only thing I can think more boring
That's the
than
point, though, isn't it?
no, but the only thing I can think more boring than fishing would be cricket.
Well, suggest me a hobby to do then after video games.
Train spotting.
Fuck it.
What?
What did you say?
Okay.
I was gonna say something, but I was like, I'll leave that for after the stream. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, I think this stream's almost reaching the 2-hour mark, or the 2-hour
Yeah,
mark.
I think we'll cut it there.
Tipsy, you know what? I think what we should do a podcast together.
We think we should.
We talk about crying underwater and things like that.
Yeah, and it's like if a snail loses if a snail loses its shell, is it naked or homeless?
The answer would be yes.
All of the above.
If money doesn't grow on trees, why do banks have branches?
I think we gotta end the stream now before this goes off the rails.
OceanChief is shaking his head. He's about to press the kill switch.
Yeah, Mr. EGL is already pretty angry with me as it is, probably.
Mr. EGL.
Yeah,
For reference, I don't even think there is a Mr. EGL. But
I don't think there is, no.
Vance and I would probably lose our rights to join this channel on
the
Ask
McLaren,
after
they're
this.
gonna lose their McLaren seats as well.
No, that's not
But
it.
that's gonna be another person. So.
No, I'm staying.
Yeah, anyways, yeah, I think we should probably cut it there.
I'm very
everybody.
fishing.
Yes. But yeah, thank you everyone.
What about
for
cycling?
watching.
Oh, no, I don't want to lose my balls, honestly. I like
I would just be afraid of somebody running me over as a cyclist, because I mean, okay, no, I'll leave that.
I think Tipsy forgot that the stream is on. Maybe.
No, I haven't. I can see it's online. Look,
Have you ever thought about smashing like a car door into a cyclist one
I
time?
thought you were gonna
The
say
only thing that
smashing.
should be smashed right now is the like button on
Yeah.
this video, on
That
this
was
stream
pretty-
right now.
That was pretty flippity
No, I mean, I think
desperate.
it should be smashed as well, but I think the bicyclists should be as well.
Play too much GTA. Video games making you violent.
Yeah. I think so.
What was it called? Road Rash Redemption.
Oh, I love that game.
Like that PS1 one, yeah.
Carmageddon.
Or
We're
maybe
getting-
they're doing this to me so that I can't go eat dinner. Or
Yes.
lunch, I mean.
You see,
Maybe
I
that's
used
what it
to.
You say that like that's not the full reason. It is.
Look,
I mean, track can go and we can keep talking about.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen. People tune in to this stream, and they think really it's for the racing, but it's really for this bit of crack that we're talking after the end of it. It's just a bit of banter. But see that thing about talking to keep Triton here? We used to do that when I was at school 10 million years ago, because one of my teachers' brother was a professional Gaelic player. That's a sport in Ireland, Thimo, in case you're wondering.
What?
Yes, I knew you'd be questioning that. And so he loved talking about his brother playing Gaelic. So we would keep asking him questions about how his brother's getting on in the sport. And he would just talk about his brother rather than actually teaching us mathematics, which is why I failed mathematics.
Oh, that's cool. We had a teacher once. You could like every time she wanted to go to the homeworks, you could just start talking about medieval fairs, and she would hold like 30-minute speeches about medieval fairs and castles and knights and stuff, and then we just didn't get to do history, and it was very cool. Every time you didn't do homework, you would just meet up and say, okay, today we're going to talk about castles. Worked every time. Was pretty funny. And I don't think she figured it out any time, but we also didn't get through the schedule of the year.
Well,
It's history, so who cares?
We are approaching the 2 hour mark,
Yeah,
and we
that's
have
pretty cool,
gone
isn't it?
we have gone way off topic. But yes, we may have gone off. We may have gone grossly off topic of Formula One in the race. But I think, you know what, it's not bad to get, to listen to the drivers rather than watching them on the track. We get to talk to them, we get to experience them, and we get to know more about them. And now
Speaking about going
yeah.
off track, going off topic.
Like you in the race.
Excuse me, I've been told by my new independent race engineer that at one point in the broadcast, people were talking about cows being Indian and the pronunciation of the word cow.
That's
That
correct.
might have been my
that
fault.
true?
That might have been my fault because I mentioned the weather cows, which was an old reference from the EGL, or not EGL. I mean the Sky of One stream, or with Crofty.
Yeah.
Like, a few years ago.
And then whenever
And
sorry.
no, go ahead.
Whenever I mentioned it then afterwards, I was talking about how people in the north of Ireland can't say that word correctly. Cow.
Cow. We here prefer the word coo.
Cool.
Coo.
And you almost did too.
Cool. Well, in French, it sounds like a bit like coo,
Yeah.
but that means
vache.
something completely different.
What?
No,
Yeah,
vache is
we're
cow.
not going to talk about that because Mr. Chief is already worried enough. But
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think.
I have a quick interactive question before the stream ends.
Yeah, because I'm going to end it in
Please,
2 seconds.
I have a
Ask us
question for the
anything.
stream.
For example,
Is
how
it
does
is it a
Triton
rhetorical
get
question?
food?
It's a question to the stream to interact with the viewers.
Okay.
Okay, it's Hungary, German.
I
the only thing
Leave
Hungary
your
right now
comments
is
down
me,
below.
so let's get this over with.
All right. I think in the interest of Triton being alive for the next stream,
No,
that he
no.
doesn't starve, that we better call it a
Well,
quits.
because he's Indian, that's really racist.
End the
That's
stream.
not what I meant. That's